What's
What's
going
up?
on, man?
Can you see me yet?
Oh yeah, I can see you.
Awesome. This is very exciting.
Just before I got on here, my cat decided to rip my fucking hands apart, so a couple of them are bleeding. But hey, we're gonna get through it anyway. Yeah, it's this big son of a bitch right here.
Oh
With
my
his
goodness.
sharp
Whoa, he's got
razor
pointy ears too.
Oh my god, his claws are like friggin' daggers, man.
Hold on.
I make the mistake every day of wrestling
I'm
with
cat sitting my brother's
him. Oh,
cat.
there you go. Nice. Well, I've got the black cat. You got the white cat. What does that mean? Are we about to do battle? How you doing, man?
Hold on. Cameron is recording the call. I'm just wondering if I should put this X up here. Click this X up here. No?
I don't know what that does.
It's just blocking myself, so I can't see myself, but I don't need to see myself anyway, so.
Oh, fair enough. It doesn't give you a bigger picture of me, does it? Because that's horrible for everybody.
I would if I could.
So Brandon K videos from TikTok.
That's right.
I have never met you in this context before.
And can I call you the Captain?
Captain Fuckwit? Yeah, man, that's my handle.
The Captain.
Yeah, that's been my handle for years. So this is not the brightest crayon.
I love that. Love that name.
Very, very low budget and unorthodox. Right in my living room. You see that shit?
I just think it's such a great thing because you're bringing the TikTokers together. Yeah. And I imagine, like, you know, like we hear about like comedy clubs in like the 80s. Like, oh, I knew this guy, I knew that guy, I knew that other guy. We all knew each other. Yeah. It's like we're all coming up. You know, we could all know each other. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like, for right now, they're one-on-ones. I'm actually waiting for the moment, because a lot of people tend to want to come on at the same time, which makes things interesting, especially when I'm like, okay, how would these two be if I brought them on at the same time?
Yeah.
Because right now it's just been one-on-one. I literally just got a message else who wants to come on. It's like, do I let them join or do I just stick to, because like I don't want the
I would feel ripped because everyone else got one-on-one and then
exactly. I know eventually it's going to be multiple people in, but right now it's just been me and them. So I'll stick to that until like couples come on or some shit.
So did we start yet?
Yeah, man, it's been recording the whole time.
Are we going live to YouTube or is it you post it later?
I post it later. It's so I don't edit anything. So literally be careful if you don't want anything getting out there that you fear getting in trouble for, don't say it.
That's just why I just wanted to know when it was on.
Oh yeah, no, the whole time, right from the hello and me saying that I ripped my hands up and you showing your cat, it's already been going.
I thought that might be the case.
Yeah. So I post once a week on Saturdays. So you're going to be put into the queue for the lineup because I've done a few of these already. Nice. And then when I'm about to post, I'll let you know. And I wonder
if I would possibly know anyone else you've been talking to. I don't know if we know the same people at all.
I'm not really sure because TikTok doesn't really allow you to see mutuals, and I'm fine with that because I don't enjoy following people based on who everyone else follows. So like you may know, I've never enjoyed that.
Right. Well, they actually started doing that now. So they have they have that feature on mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that's how little I pay attention to TikTok now. I mainly go on there just to invite y'all on here. I don't post on there anymore, but I've had Samantha and her boys. I don't know if you know her. I've had Toner Mooch. Or Toner Hooch, not Toner Mooch, Toner Hooch. I've had her on here.
Yeah. Are those are still to be posted?
Yes. Yeah. The ones that I have posted right now.
I saw those ones.
Yeah.
Was it Cat? No, it was
Kitty.
Kitty. Yeah. Kitty.
Kitty and Golden Guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have two of them. And then Frazzle Dazzle Mom. She's coming up on Saturday. And then I've got Vet with a Beard.
And you meet all these people without going live on TikTok?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been on TikTok for a few years now.
Yeah.
Just posting up dumb videos. And it's people that have been following me and I've been following them. Like I don't reach out to anyone that I haven't had an interaction with, but I've had an interaction with a lot of people. Yeah. So now I just go into the DMs like I did with you and say, hey, you feel like coming on here to chat? And here we are now. So
yeah, there was a time, at least early on, maybe 2020, where I was seeing your videos a lot on my For You page, or on my, maybe For You, but my following page too.
Oh yeah, no. Like I only stopped posting in January, like 2 months ago. TikTok stopped showing my stuff a long time ago.
I wanted to ask you, because I remember your TikToks, but did you have like a comedy troupe or something? Or show maybe? Or
no, I used to do stand up. Just like the one man shows, getting up on stage and shit. So I started taking a lot of those and just doing single videos on TikTok because I don't get on stage anymore.
Yeah.
But
are you a writer? Do you write besides stand up, or?
No. Other than the script I wrote, no.
Oh, I don't there you go. You wrote a full script.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't write anything. Literally, like, even when I did stand up, I never wrote any of the jokes down. I just remember them and then I work them out.
Did you try to get your script out into the world?
Oh God, yeah. I've been trying for 4 years.
What is the strategy there? Like, who do you even reach out to?
Anyone, like unfortunately, LinkedIn is a really good platform to use that, because that's where all of your producers and shit go. Other than that, the spam's endless and you hardly ever use it. So it's kind of a catch-22 of whether or not you want to do one. And then you just have to know people that know people, and it's a major pain in the ass. It is such a pain.
Right. No, I imagine you have to know somebody, and how do you get to know that person? Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't, like, and a lot of those relationships is, hi, my name is, hey, can I borrow money? Like, that's the conversation. It's not, let me butter them up for a couple of years and then ask. No, it's like, literally just get to the point. We're busy here.
Right.
So you have to prove that you have something that they want. And that's even the ones that were interested. We had a whole pool of investors that were interested. And then with COVID going on and the financial system as it's going, when the guarantee didn't match how much we were asking to borrow, they said no.
So you got that far.
Yeah, I got that far. And we've been inching the ball a little closer each time we reach out and try. But we've hit a roadblock.
Would you share what your movie's about?
It's not a movie, it's a TV show.
Okay, what your TV show is about?
It's called Chronically Correct. It's just a sitcom. I don't even like calling it a sitcom because it's not one. Yeah. I've watched traditional sitcoms, and they some of them I like, others make me want to cry, and others make me want to vomit. So it's,
what would be like your top ones that you do like?
I mean, believe it or not, just for like the cheese dick jokes, I like Seinfeld.
I love it. It's probably my favorite of all time.
Yeah. Just because, like, the jokes are simple, they're relatable because they're simple.
I go back, watch it 20 years later. I've seen it 20 times. I'm still laughing my ass off.
Yeah. And but the thing that annoys me about your traditional sitcom, even Seinfeld, Friends, and all that shit, is it's 90% comedy, and then you get the other stuff sprinkled in there. Like, and no one can be funny for that long without going insane.
Right.
So
Seinfeld does it so well, but other ones do it so terribly.
Yeah. And with the one that I wrote, it's real life. It's not reality, but it's every emotion, every raw emotion, you'll see it on screen at some point.
I almost feel like reality is what people want now. It's like, just put a camera on you and your friends and make a show.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's why things like this work. Like, I'm not, and I mean, it's and I wanted to try this niche of going after, because I haven't had any blue check marks on here. I'm actually avoiding them completely. The biggest account I've had on here so far is Toner Hooch, because she's a friend of mine. Other than that, I try to avoid them because there's expectation there. It's not that I'm nervous, it's that there's expectation that I don't want to have to deal with that shit.
Well, I
And I
appreciate
feel,
that, and the way you reached out to me. Hey, let's shoot the shit. It's like,
yeah,
great, why
man,
not?
let's just fucking do it. I don't care. I had someone on here that had 500 followers. I don't give a fuck. Come on, have a conversation.
But if you keep it that way, like, and then you can keep it conversational with whoever you talk to. Like, hey, that was my cat. You can just
Yeah.
keep it conversational with whoever. Like, hey, I just literally just want to have a conversation with you, but like you could be whoever, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's the ones where if I reach out to them and they're like, is there any pay? It's gonna be like right there. That's your pay. Because no,
Right.
it's like just fucking we're talking. You're sitting in your house on your couch talking.
Yeah.
If I have to pay for that, you're not welcome here.
Yeah, it's interesting with like, I finally, when I went viral, me and my friend Harris went viral, then people started to reach out like, oh, can we have your video? Can we use it here and there? And then it was
Yeah.
like, okay, what do I get?
Yeah.
That's kind of like the other side though, is like, okay, maybe I can get compensated for my work or whatever, but
Yeah, but I mean but that's different. That they are literally asking to use your work for their own benefit.
yeah.
That's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
This is for no one's benefit. This isn't even for mine. Like I'm not expecting this podcast to take off in any way, shape, or form.
I want it to. I want it to go big.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been messing around in the social media world for 18 years and never gotten anywhere with it. So I'm not expecting much. I just want to have fun.
Well, the hardest part is just starting, because like I keep telling myself, oh, I want to get on YouTube. I want to get on YouTube, and then I just never do it.
I mean, you got to have there's two difficult things. You got to have something that you enjoy doing, and then you have to have something that other people enjoy you doing.
Yeah.
And the second one, I just stopped caring. Other people enjoying it, I'd rather just enjoy it.
Well, it can just be as simple as that, you know. So it's like,
Yeah.
why not just do what you love and post it?
Well, I mean, do you have? I guess as soon as you start recording a hobby, it turns into a job. But do you have any hobbies that you would feel comfortable putting a camera on and just not even talk to the camera, just do what you do?
Yeah, it's been. I mean, I have so many ideas, and then it just like I just get in my own way about like, oh, nah, I don't want to do that or whatever, and then
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it turns into a fishbowl, but you gotta, pick one out, shake the hat.
I tried to film a day
out.
in the life back in September, but then I had some editing problems.
Yeah, so that's that's the thing that I like to think of it as a creative outlet, but no, it's just I'm lazy. I don't edit anything.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have bloopers at the end of the video because the bloopers you're going to see them as they happen.
It's cool.
And yeah, and I don't do second takes. So if I'm trying to say something and then I stumble over my own words, I'm just going to keep going. I don't really care.
And it was never painful with the ones that I watched. It was like, oh, this conversation is flowing. It wasn't anything.
Yeah.
It was good. I enjoyed it. You were talking about your kids and your wife and the one with Kitty, and I was like, oh, I'm learning all about this guy. I never knew.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't I'll give ages and shit in the amount that I have, but I try not to bring them here.
Say it again.
I try not to bring my kids in front of the camera.
Oh yeah. I understand.
Yeah, like I'll say how many I have and their ages and that shit. I don't, and they'll pass by the camera every once in a while.
Right.
Like one of the ones that you'll listen to in the future, I think like the last 20 minutes, I literally handed the fucking sperm drop here over to the AirPod.
Okay, the AirPod. Okay. Hello. I wonder if like I'll still be on, or
oh shit! What the hell happened there?
Oh, I was like, oh, I'm on the show, but you're not. What's up?
Okay. And it's still recording, thank God, because you didn't step away. I touched.
I don't see you. I don't see you now. Just so you know.
Oh, you don't see me at all?
It says CR.
Okay, because I see you on my end, so that might be the
technical difficulties. I don't know if you're recording yourself or not, but we can continue like this if you want.
Yeah. All I did was point at my AirPod and it fucked everything up.
Oh.
But yeah, at one point I actually took this out and I gave it to my wife and she started talking to the person that I had on. So it's always different. I never know where the conversation's going to go, and that's why I like doing this. Because I get up and walk around just like you are. I'm not tied to a desk. I fucking take my phone and just walk around.
Yeah, this is how I talk on the phone, so it's hard for me to sit still and talk to a camera.
And that's okay. It doesn't matter. You don't have to sit down.
I'm like, if anybody is watching this, they're getting sick though from the background, but
that's okay.
Yeah.
It'll distract them from the conversation. They'll just be looking at your ceiling like,
look at all this stuff.
Hey, you got a spider web up there.
But no, you were talking about, yeah, it's interesting when I see like kids on TikTok, I'm like, oh, they're not supposed to be on there. Or then like you were going into a lot about how you raise your kids, and I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah. It's a really unorthodox way to do it because we get called weird a lot. When just when I tell people alone that they don't watch TV, the reactions of that are incredible.
Well, you did say they get to watch once a week, right?
Yeah, one day a week if they did well in school.
So I remember meeting kids who get to watch like zero TV, but your kids will have at least some TV that they can reference if people ask them.
Yeah.
What do they like to watch when they do get to?
Anything that has words and sound and colors. They at that point they don't care.
It's like completely overstimulating because they've never seen it that much.
Basically. And I am getting drawbacks from it because now, like, if we're at the friggin' doctor's and the TV's on the wall playing infomercials, they're glued to it.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you do know that's a commercial, right? And they're just staring at it like it's the next best thing. So there are drawbacks.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. And they're like, how old are they? Or like the oldest one?
14, 12, 11, and 7.
So like even like the 14-year-old and the 12-year-old will be like, wow, a TV? Or
no, my 12-year-old couldn't care less.
Right.
She doesn't care. She doesn't even watch TV. She doesn't care at all. But the other three, my 14 and my 11-year-old will glue right to it, block the rest of the world out, and my 7-year-old, she'll watch it for a couple of minutes, get bored, and go do something else.
Did you grow up with a lot of TV?
No, I mean, I was born in 87, so the 90s were just all about outside and skin knees. I really didn't watch a whole lot of TV.
Oh yeah. I'm old. I'm actually older than you, but same. I actually watch more TV, but I've also got to go outside a lot. But.
Yeah, it was outdoors, climbing on shit we shouldn't, skinning our knees.
Getting in trouble with the neighbor kids and
we're told not to. Don't go out in those woods at night because of this, and you do it anyway. I watched one of my neighbors once get chased by a bear.
Oh my gosh, you must have been like, where were you?
I was actually in New Hampshire, believe it or not. I live in Florida now, but I grew up in New Hampshire.
Do bears live like in the wilderness? Was it like a forest?
We were up in the mountains, yeah. Yeah, we literally lived on a road like called Mountain Hill Road. And, there was a reason because it went straight up. So
I watch a lot of TV and movies, so I just watched the new Jackass 3 where they sick a bear on one of the guys.
Nice.
And he like licks honey off of him and
almost eats him. It's not fun, man. Bears are not anything to be screwed with at all. They're crazy. But our neighbor was an idiot. And I think he had a fascination with throwing rocks at cubs.
Oh, that's so horrible.
So he was actually chased by the mother bear, and obviously he lived because we didn't hear about him being torn apart. But he's fucking lucky because not only do they run fast, but it was right on his tail until he got to his house. Like, we saw him fucking running.
That's so scary.
Yeah. I wonder how he felt.
He was like, like adrenaline, like just where he was just like going 10 times the speed just to get away from it, I'm sure.
Probably trying to, yeah, because we were nowhere near it. They were probably in retrospect, from ground to where he was running was probably half a mile away. It was just a clearing in the woods, and we saw him running, heard him screaming, and then roar, this fucking bear. Like, oh, awesome. I mean, we did go in and tell my mom, but what was she gonna do?
Yeah, it's done at that point. But yeah, I grew up in California, so we didn't have a lot of wildlife anywhere that I can remember.
Do you still live in California?
In Vegas and California. I live in
yeah,
Vegas,
right.
and I'm visiting California to watch my brother's cat and visit family. But I moved to Vegas last year.
How is it living in Vegas? I was there as a tourist for 10 days, and I remember landing and then taking off. And that's all I remember. So I don't.
In what way? Just drink blackout or what?
I don't know. I mean, like, I think so. Yeah, because like I have videos and text messages between me and my sister and me and my friends back home, because it was a 3-hour time difference. And I remember I kept waking people up at 2 a.m. to like drunk dial, and then they'd answer and I'd be yelling at them because when you drink, your ears go numb. But like, still,
well,
to this,
that's what you do. Is, I mean, I don't do it anymore, but that's what you do is get a bunch of booze and be drunk for a couple days in a row. So, but now that I live there, I don't do that.
I can imagine.
But it is like talking about the kids with the TV, like we need more and more stimulation the more TV we watch and everything. So like I like being around like a stimulating environment like Vegas,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I could just walk over here and gamble or see hot chicks or whatever anytime I want,
There you go.
Yeah. But I also I live about 10 miles away from the strip, so I can stay away from it as much as I want to. So
yeah, you get the break.
Yeah.
You're not like right on it.
So
even 10 miles away, can you still hear that shit?
It's more, I was going to say it's much more exciting than California, but California is exciting too. Because I live near Disneyland. So like there is excitement in California, but Vegas is just more exciting.
Yeah.
I feel like, I walk outside and it's like, I can see the stratosphere, I feel like. And especially if I go out onto like a road nearby, like you kind of can see it from certain angles.
That was actually one of my favorite places to visit when I was there, was the stratosphere. I do remember that because they recommended not drinking when we went up there. So I think that was one of the moments where I was actually sober, because the air gets so thin, they won't let you enter if you're drunk. They won't let you go up into that.
It was I don't think Harris would mind me saying this, but me and Harris went up there like a month ago, and I filmed it all, and Harris was buzzed and we were having a great time. But after that, he was like, "Oh, I don't want to be on camera anymore." So he was like the guy I used to film with, and we had a good time up there.
But it was like, was he buzzed or was he shit faced? Because I think they have restrictions.
He was buzzed, but he wasn't gonna like go jump off or get too close or anything. But he was like, no fear, because you have to remember, or I'd have to tell you that for 2 years I was making TikToks like, "Oh, I dare you to go up in the stratosphere. I dare you to go up in the stratosphere."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, I'll never do it. I'll never do it." And then he got buzzed enough and did it. So it was really funny for me.
Did he go bungee jumping?
No. Those were like the videos we made. I was like, "How much to go on the ride?" And he was like, "Never, ever, ever. $1 billion." Right. Yeah.
Yeah. The roller coaster that goes off like an arm on the side of the building, and then
I was like,
jumping.
"Fuck no!" I was like, "No, I wouldn't do it either." I mean, who knows? I mean, what, for money or for TikTok fame or something? But not. I wouldn't want that at all.
Oh, come on, why not? It's not like anything could go wrong.
I about 20 years ago, they had like a roller coaster around the edge.
Yeah.
So I did that when I was like 14. That was scared the shit out of me.
Oh, I bet. I mean,
yeah,
you're only falling 80 stories, Brandon.
I look back, I was like, how did I even handle that? But
you were young. 14-year-olds don't give a shit.
And they might have had some illusion where like something's underneath you, where it's like Even if you fall on something else. But it just sounds so scary, and I remember being scared.
The thing is, like, not even a net would work because the one draft of wind or anything from that coaster going around, and the net moves and it doesn't catch you just right. Like, not even a net would really work.
But they had that, and then they upped the ante with that claw that goes over the side.
Yep.
Like, that's so much scarier.
Oh yeah.
And then they have a tower on top that shoots up.
Yep. Yeah, man. I know. Like I said, vague story. Even 10 years later now, I'm still getting pieces of what happened from friends of mine that I called while I was there. So even
like
even
the
now,
Hangover. It's like the Hangover.
Yep. Even now, 10 years later, they're like, hey, like, I'll start talking about Vegas, and then they'll just remember something and they'll tell me about it. And I'm like, I don't remember that shit at all.
Yeah, I did quite a few benders where I was just 4 days, 3 days, 4 days of just drinking the whole time. But I don't do that anymore.
Is it just you out in Vegas, or do you live with someone?
Myself.
Okay.
Yep, I just kind of started over fresh and don't have anybody I know. What was I gonna say? I don't have anybody I know who lives there, but people can visit. A lot of people have visited already. So
yeah, hey,
just because it's Vegas
like
and
yeah.
Californians visit Vegas when it's only 4 hours away or whatever more often.
Right. So you got that kind of hot spot like I have because I'm down in Florida. So like the whole state of Florida is a vacation spot. So much like that, people will come down and stay with me just to come to Florida.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was like, all right, whatever. I don't care. I can sleep on my couch.
Where do you live at, or what do you live near?
We're 2 hours south of Orlando, so we're actually not even that far from anything. We're 2 hours from Universal and Disney and Busch Gardens, and we're like 45 minutes from Legoland. Like, we're not far from anything. It's
awesome.
all there.
It is. I have visited, and it is all there. They have so many theme parks, and
it's all freaking there. So I mean, the only one that we haven't visited so far living here is Busch Gardens. We haven't gone there yet because that's like, we went to Magic Kingdom. That's more for children, but we went there without kids, so it worked and it didn't at the same time. And then we honeymooned at Universal without children, which was
awesome.
Which was fucking fantastic.
I love Universal.
God. There were so many rides there that because we got the golden pass, so we were able to see every park at least once. We were able to go on every ride we wanted to go on at least once. We had that giant map and just walked around to everything. And there were rides that my wife hated that I made her go on more than once.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they got coasters and they got really detailed themed experiences like Harry Potter, and it's really awesome.
Yeah. The friggin' IMAX Transformers one was our favorite, but we did Spider-Man as well. And yeah, just a bunch of shit. We went on everything.
I will say I have been to that Busch Gardens, and it has, I think, the best coaster, at least one of the top 2 coasters I've ever been on. It's called like Sheikra, I think.
Yeah.
It just got like a giant drop, and it's like a top 10 coaster for me, top 2 coaster for me.
Yeah, definitely got to go there. I've discovered the easiest way to break my kids into theme parks is actually the once a year fair that travels around from county to county down here.
Yeah.
So every year that my kids get a little bit bigger, I introduce them to coasters that way, spinning things and coasters and getting dizzy and possibly throwing up, and I get them used to it that way. So then when I bring them to the actual theme park, they'll be ready. They'll be broken in.
We love those just as much as the theme parks. They had the Orange County Fair right here.
Okay, I gotta ask you this. What's the weird shit? I don't think anyone talks about it enough. What's the weirdest thing you've ever encountered at a county fair? Because like, they don't have to worry about police there because they can just pack up and leave. and that includes the roller coasters. So I'm actually like, you just see weird shit there all the time.
But your county fair is like they have like the tickets to get in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, they don't just let it. I mean, they do just let anybody who pays in, but I mean, I mean, I've seen hypnotists and like shows. Like, I don't remember like a crazy. I mean, and I've been there a lot, but I don't remember. Well, actually, um, that's I don't know. I can't think anything.
Yeah, like ours.
What about you?
Yeah, ours was like some weird shit with like farm animals, where someone was actually showing how far they could put their arm up. Like
No.
but I mean, like they had the glove on, and they're like, "This is how you check for this."
No.
Yeah, seriously, like this is how you check for issues, or this is how you check if the cow's pregnant. Like they're, you know,
I saw that on Jackass too.
yeah, like trying to educate. I mean, you'll see it on Dirty Jobs if you watch it, but they're showing kids how to do it at a freaking fair, which was weird. And then I'm so glad that they weren't allowing the children to do it. That would have been even more weird. But the
Well,
other one was
we
like,
always hear about weird stuff happening in Florida, so
yeah. The
that's
other
kind of
one was
Florida's known for that.
yeah, the weird ass guys that sit there and they're supposedly manning the machines, the ones that hit the buttons and tell you when to sit down and shit.
Mm.
One of the guys are sitting there literally smoking a joint, which I don't care. Smoke all the weed you want. I don't give a fuck. But like
Yeah.
he's smoking a joint. I swear to God, he had a plastic cup of like bourbon, and then like I noticed he only had one arm, but he's smoking and drinking and manning this dangerous machine, and I'm like, how
That's
do you
so
think you ended up that way? Like, what the fuck, dude?
that's classic.
Seriously, that's some weird shit. And then
Yeah.
like it starts to rain, and you're not supposed to go on a roller coaster when it's raining due to like serious injury and um yeah, like the electrical shit. And people down here don't care. It started raining, and they're still going on and hitting those big buttons, and fucking they don't care. People
Right.
down here are insane.
Yeah, it's like it's beyond what I can, because I get so terrified of of any danger. So, but some
Yeah,
people don't. Like they're like me when I was 14 on the stratosphere. It's like, oh, whatever, I'll do it. You know,
yeah. Yeah, so people
I'm
don't
gonna live
care.
forever. Imagine them
Right.
just saying, I'm gonna live forever as they go do something crazy.
Yeah, pretty much. The famous last words. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Yeah, that's famous last words. Oh, I'll make it out okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, but I mean, I thought you were gonna ask me what crazy stuff I've seen in Orange County, and that's the long list. But
Oh, go ahead. List them off, man.
well, that's just they just
Like, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life?
I'm trying to
Narrow
remember.
it.
It's so interesting because I'm like the crazy guy, especially when I used to drink. So
Yeah.
it's like the crazy shit that happened to me was my own doing.
It out, man.
What's that?
I said, air it out. Tell the
Oh
story.
yeah, no, I know. I'm trying. I can't see you. I'm just talking to like an icon here. So it's like I almost thought I was on the phone. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
Um.
I got you.
Well, I just remember. And I did used to make YouTube videos, so I would just do crazy stuff on the YouTube videos. But like, I have one where I'm just like in Vegas or in Mardi Gras, just like jumping into trash and just freestyle battling people and picking up girls and asking them to marry me and all this crazy stuff like that.
Did any of them say yes?
No, no, it was like, yeah, it was, but you're feeling no pain when you're that drunk, but yeah.
Oh yeah. But you were a Mardi Gras man. You could have blamed it on the fact that you no longer had any beads. and everyone would be okay with that. I was out of beads.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I think while we were there at Mardi Gras, like a lady, I think she put dollar bills on herself, on her top, and then she like lit them on fire. That was pretty funny. It's like
Nice.
a party trick.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm trying to think of weird stripper stuff, but I'm also trying not to get you banned off YouTube.
Yeah, dude, it's YouTube.
What's that?
It's YouTube.
No, I know. No, I don't. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know what the rules are, but
Just basically every stupid restriction you can think of with TikTok and take it off.
I can't think I don't think I've seen the ping pong trick. You ever see the ping pong trick?
No. No, I haven't.
You just see that in the movies.
Yeah.
I never.
I've seen them make fun of it, but I've never actually seen it.
Trying to think, but what crazy stuff do you hear about in Florida?
Oh, I mean, you see those Florida man articles every day, and I mean, it's not the Onion printing them; they're actually real stories.
Are they nearby? You're like, hey, that's my neighbor.
No, like I don't know a whole lot of people down here. I'm not a big people person. Like I don't even really know my neighbors. But when one of those stories comes across the wire, I don't deny it. I never deny it. You know, like Florida man eaten for trying to wrestle a gator. I'm like, yeah, it's true. I don't care who printed it. It's true. It fucking happened.
I mean, when you hear a story like that, though, it's like, would you ever see somebody just out there, like even coming close to the gators, or?
Well, I mean, I used to work traffic control, so I was out on the streets of Florida for, 10, 11 hours a day. And I mean, we saw, like, we didn't see people, getting bitten in half or anything, but like gators would come up to the street to see what was going on, see what all the hubbub was. And we're holding a stop slow sign, like getting on our walkie going, I think I'm about to be lunch,
Yeah, and it becomes
we
like the thing to do because you're like, oh, there's gators in that swamp, and then everybody's like standing around, and then you're like, oh, I want to see.
Yeah. And then like we'd have bands in the town. They're like, hey, avoid this lake or that lake because of the gator count. And they pay the county to go and fish them out. But you'll see the idiots out there in the middle of the lake on their fucking little boat, either out there fishing or trying to antagonize the gators because they're stupid. Dude, it happens all the time, man. Or like, don't swim in this because we just had a huge storm, so the level of bacteria is really high. We don't want you getting sick. What do people do? They don't care. They'll just nose dive into the water. And
why do you think that it happens more in Florida than other places?
If you had to guess. Like I would say, like meth addicts are probably huge here. I mean, it's kind of like certain parts of Florida are kind of like being in Panama. You can throw a rock in any direction and you'll either hit a meth addict or you'll hit a cartel somewhere. It's not like, I'm not saying that the danger is high. I'm saying that the drug problem is pretty bad down here. Like when I did the traffic control in Orlando, like fucking Orlando, the most like tourist driven, family driven city because of Disney. We'd be blocking off a road so that the construction crew could do their job, and we'd have meth addicts just either standing there sleeping, standing up because that's what they do.
Were you saying on the runway, or what were you saying?
Or they'd be like on the sidewalk right in the middle of our job.
Right.
They would go panhandling for money, so they like the traffic would come up to the red light. So they would literally jump across 3 lanes of traffic to go to the part that's stopped and then go down the line of cars praying, like, can you help me with money? Right. And it's like, the moment that turns green, these cars are going to be going 55 miles an hour. Get the fuck out of our job site. Like, because when I say that we were blocking the road off, like there'd be 3 lanes and then there would be the curb and then 3 more lanes. And those first 3 lanes we blocked off. So now you've got 6 lanes of traffic traveling through 3 lanes. And these idiots are going over there to this giant clusterfuck and begging for money for cars when, like, the moment it turns green, they're going to be going like buzzing by. So we have to drop what we're doing and be like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you doing? But and then we'd have the ones that would literally just, we would go to start setting up the job. They'd be on the sidewalk that we have to block off, just
hello,
just standing there sleeping. It's
like I said, I can't see you. So, no, but that's where I got mixed up when I said runway. I thought you meant air traffic control, but you meant, I guess, traffic control is like
actually cars, traffic control. The people that set up those orange cones and the warning signs that say road work ahead.
Oh yeah, and did I see a video of you in one of those outfits? Or
you've seen a lot of videos of me in those outfits.
That's what you do. Still?
No, that's what I used to do.
Oh, okay.
I don't anymore. But I have a lot of crazy stories from those days because I was out on the streets of Florida for, like I said, 10 hours a day, usually in Orlando, and there were a lot of there's a lot of weird people out there. A lot of fucking weird people. The back roads were the worst, especially at night. Like, we would get a message from our office going, "Hey, be careful out there today." And they didn't mean driving. They meant because of the area that we were going to set up.
Yeah,
we'd have crews that would set the job up, and then, like, the neighborhood, people would come out of their houses, and it's the power crew. Like, we are there to replace a power pole because it either got hit or broken, or we're replacing it to give you like better electricity flow, so that your internet stops going out and your electricity stops flickering and all this shit. And they'd be doing that job, and then we'd be working the traffic to keep everyone safe. And people would be coming out of their houses throwing trash and shit at us, telling us to leave.
I wanted to guess the end of that story. So were they like, was it like a conspiracy thing? They didn't like people in their neighborhood like doing it, that kind of stuff? Or what do you think it was?
To be honest, I don't know, because it didn't matter who was there. Like, it wasn't a race thing. It wasn't a, they weren't wearing fucking tinfoil hats blaming shit on us like the aliens are going to land here. It's just they just didn't like the interruption to the traffic, because we close down their road and then they have to find another way to get out of their own home. And then there's a clusterfuck of traffic at a different section around their house, and they just didn't like it. But they were the ones that called us out there to do
people.
that.
I mean, people. I'm just gonna make an assumption about people are very like entitled. Like, I would never just like start throwing. Like, if they're closing a road, I would never start just throwing trash at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was anywhere from like food that they had eaten, trash in their cans, fucking beer bottles. We had tons of shit. I had a beer bottle thrown at my driver's side window once. I mean, it didn't do any damage.
Were you going to close down their road and like trap them on the road for like hours, or?
No, we just literally had to cut off their power. And
yeah, I was having trouble following the story. Okay, so that's what I thought. That's what I thought I heard at first, was the thing about the power, and then I was like,
yeah.
But then you're doing the road, so I was like, okay, how is the roads connected to the power?
Because we set up the construction of the flow of traffic for the power company.
Right.
For the power crew, for the electricians that went out there, the ones that get into the bucket and then get up onto the pole and do all the wire work and shit. We were the ones that set up, either close the road down or change 2 lanes to 1 lane, and then would do the stop slow back and forth so cars could still go.
But you're not you're not trapping anyone, or you're just slowing them down. But it's like
way the fuck down. But the biggest problem is we were cutting off their electricity.
Right.
And how long is the power going to be out until the job's done? I don't know.
Right. And we're going to slow you down by throwing trash at you.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, there was literally one location where like the county whoever was providing the electricity in that area was getting so many complaints from this one area. So they sent us and the power crew out there to fix the problem.
Right.
And we went out there the first day. They came out and they fucking threw shit at us. So the power crew looked at us and said, fuck it, we're leaving. So I called my boss and was like, hey, job's over. If there's nothing else, I'm going home. Second day, we went out there again. Same thing. They threw shit at us. We let them do it for a little bit longer. The power crew attempted to do a little bit of work. But the trash and profanity kept flying. So we were like, fuck it, we're leaving. We did it again. Third time we went out there, the power crew literally looked at the neighborhood and said, if you come out here again, we're going to tell you to go fuck yourself and you can fix this on your own.
That's what you got to do.
But like they had to, obviously the power crew had to make it justifiable so no one could sue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, this is our third attempt out here. Either you let us do our job or fuck you.
I was going to ask this when I thought it was air traffic control, but it's regular traffic control. But was it stressful? Was it like a stressful job?
Yeah, it was very dangerous. Actually, we
dangerous and stressful.
Yeah, like setting it up is one thing, but you have, because if an accident occurred, then you had to literally like shut everything down. You had to signal to the power crew, take the buckets down, get out of your buckets, sit in your trucks. We've got to deal with this shit. So we would have to write up the report. We'd have to get the police out there. We'd have to get traffic around the accident. Like,
when you say buckets, what do you mean by buckets?
Like the bucket trucks. You ever seen a like an electric vehicle?
Is it like a bucket on a crane?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
But
that's what I was thinking. The buckets that it would raise you up to where you need to go or something.
Yes, yeah, like that. Basically, if you were to take, some of them were like literally a regular pickup truck, and then they had the arm and the bucket.
Interesting.
Yeah. And someone would get into it, and there'd be controls inside the vehicle or even in the bucket itself to raise them up onto the pole.
Yeah, I saw you in the hard hat. I was like, what is he doing? I didn't know the whole story.
Yeah, no, I never got up in the bucket. I just ran the traffic control. But yeah, it was dangerous. It was dangerous for everybody.
You would be wearing the hat in case something falls on you or something.
Those hats were quite literally useless because we weren't allowed anywhere near the power crew anyway. So what was going to drop on our head, first of all?
Right.
That was more of just the company I worked for being tightwads about how we were supposed to look out there.
Right.
Because it wasn't, the only people that needed to be wearing the damn hard hats was the power crew, because they're up on the pole. They're dropping the pieces of the pole that they're cutting and the tools out of the bucket down onto the ground, and we're nowhere near it. So for us to be sweating out there wearing fucking hard hats all day, but
yeah, that's cruel. I mean,
yeah, it happens.
Just being outside. I mean, especially Florida, just being outside doing anything, it's like, okay, that's. Now you got to wear like a hard hat and a mask, and you're like dying and suffocating.
Like I said, the job and the reason that I left was because I basically fought my way to a supervisor role, and then that enabled me to really learn how the company worked from the inside. And after a couple months of that, I was like, I'm out of here. Because I really enjoyed the job. Like that's a lesson to people. Promotions and moving up in a company is not always good. Sometimes it's better, if you love where you're at, to just stay there.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like, well, you're accepting more responsibility and everything, but was that the issue, or what was it?
The responsibility was fine. It was the fact that now all of these complaints because I went from just being a regular worker to running a crew, supervisor, and I was helping maintain 10 crews. So I was driving from site to site to site to site, making sure that they were adhering to the safety guidelines, that they had their water, that they had all their equipment, that their site was set up correctly, that, you know, everyone was hunky-dory and happy, listening to complaints, fucking writing people up if they were disobeying, shit like that. My thing was that every week I would have a list of people going, this complaint, that complaint, this complaint, that complaint. And some of them were just like, dude, there's nothing I can do about that. But some of them were actually legit. Like, hey, can we do this? Because it'll make this better, right? That kind of thing. So then I would bring that complaint to the office and they'd go, oh, well, we'll look into it.
Right. Oh, so you're like the middleman more than like the person who actually solves the problems or something.
Yeah. So, like a certain level that I was allowed to solve on my own. But I mean, that maybe have been, it was like an 80-20 split.
Yeah, when you get in that role, when you get in a supervisor role, and like I've experienced it like Disney, not that I was a supervisor, but that's where I worked, but as a lower level, but the supervisor has to take all the complaints, and they don't, specifically them, they're not the ones making the rules, but they're just the ones receiving all the complaints, you know?
Yeah. Yep. And then you have to filter through, like, okay, this is a legitimate complaint. This is just because you don't like today. So, you know, just.
So how long did you last at that job, or specifically as supervisor?
Was 2 months.
2 months. And then you didn't want to do anything in the company anymore. You were just like, I'm done.
No, I was done. It took all of 2 months for me to realize what kind of a company I was working for. Like, I was there for 2 years.
Right.
2 months completely eliminated 2 years worth of, like, I really love this job. I love this job. And then 2 months as
but that would mean that they treat the entry level much better than the supervisor then.
No, right? That would mean that the entry level is completely oblivious to what's actually going on.
Right.
And once I learned, because I mean, like, okay, one of the complaints, okay, so here's what happens. Something happened internally with the company. Someone was fired because of the thing that occurred. And then a bunch of people threatened to quit because the reasons for the fire didn't make any sense.
Right.
And so as a supervisor, I'm making a list of these people that are threatening to either walk out or quit. And I bring this list to my boss. And their reaction, they're looking at the list and they're going, okay, we'll replace them.
I'm going to replace everybody on the list.
And that's literally their reaction, not, okay, well, let's talk to them and explain to them what actually happened.
You crossed us, so you're fired.
Yeah. Not, let's tell them the truth. Let's tell them a small version of the truth that we are allowed to tell them, just to put their minds at ease about what actually happened. No, just, all right, we'll replace them.
They're demanding respect and
the bosses
subordination, I think is the word.
The bosses are saying eat a dick, pretty much. So
they're like, you're replaceable, and that's like one of the bad workplaces is just like you don't feel valued and everything. But
basically, and you know, there were like I don't even know how deep into this I can go, because
well, just I would put this in a vague way, but like you made a choice based on your values. Like I don't respect what they're doing, so I'm gonna get out of here. Basically. More than, it wasn't like a financial decision or like, you know, anything like that.
No, I was making really good money and I was loving my job because I had a company vehicle. I wasn't paying for gas. I wasn't paying for maintenance. You know, all I was doing was giving my time to a job that I really enjoyed. And the company itself showed me just how big of a pile of shit it was. And I didn't want to represent it anymore. So I left.
Yeah, and you would hope that doesn't happen for everybody who moves up, but it could.
Yeah, but
you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn more about the company, I suppose.
Yep. And like the biggest thing that really chapped my ass was they sent a survey out to everybody at that office, everyone out in the field, and said, hey, if there's anything that we can change to make it better for you, put it here.
Yeah.
And then they narrowed it down to the top 3 things, and they didn't do any of them. They literally said, oh, these are the top 10 things that if we did this, it would make everyone happy. And they went, and fucking.
Was it like one guy in charge or like 5 people in charge? Or?
Well, no, it's kind of like how companies go. It's a pyramid of people.
Right.
You know, so I took it to my boss, who then took it to their boss, who then took it to their boss.
Right. They're not. You know, they don't work together. They work on top of each other, kind of.
Basically, yeah. I mean, like, you know, you get it to the right person, and that right person then goes to the owners, and then the owners say no, and then it filters back down. Like, you know, and then that no just gets bigger and bigger. But yeah, like literally, like, oh, here are the top 3 things that would make everyone happy. It would make them feel appreciated. They would come to work more, and we wouldn't have to like cancel jobs or stress people out. But no, we're gonna roll this up, throw it in the trash, and just do whatever we want. Like, they took the 3 things and literally did the opposite of those 3 things, and then told everyone just do it. You know, like, you don't have a choice. You're gonna do it. So yeah, like those were the inner workings that I learned, where I was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah, I don't run a company yet, but I like to read the books about, you know, how to manage a team and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
those are, because you know, it's easily solvable problems as far as interpersonal relationships and everything.
Yeah, especially when it is the easiest kind of thing. Like, you cannot always give more money.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing. You cannot always give more money. But what you can do, all right, is not look at the people that have been working for you for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and say, we're not going to give you any bonuses because you asked for them. What we're going to do is give bonuses to people who don't even work for us yet.
Who are they? Are those
like sign-on bonuses? Right. So you look at the people who have been working for you for years that are like, hey, you know, bonuses would be nice every once in a while. And you go, yeah, that's a great idea. But instead, any extra money, I'm going to give it to people who are just being hired on.
Right.
To try and keep them around longer.
Right.
Like,
that's like a way to like get new people in so that they make them more disposable, because they're just bringing more people in, you know, and then they can treat everybody like trash, kind of.
Exactly. And that's also a way of looking at, you know, the veterans that have been there and going, we don't need you here. Like, that is a clear-cut way of telling them, we don't want you here. You can leave. We'll just pay someone less money to do your job.
Like, yeah, I worked at like a chain of recycling centers. It was kind of like that. It's just like, we're gonna give you the bare minimum and don't ask for anything else.
What's been your favorite job? Like, we kind of got off on a tangent about jobs that suck, but what's been your favorite job so far?
So Disney was way up there, but I also got to work at Knott's Berry Farm.
Nice.
It's for anyone who doesn't know, it's a theme park, and then they do the Halloween haunt, like, you know, like scary mazes kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like Halloween Horror Nights, and I got to be one of the characters in that.
Nice.
So that wasn't. It was only for like a month or 2, but that was like my favorite. That's the one I say is my favorite.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just running out at people, screaming at them. I was dressed up like a big baby, and I was just like,
nice.
I do like a voice, and just like I'm like a big guy. I'm like 6'2", and I just like hide behind a bed and just like jump out like a maniac. It was a lot of fun.
Did you have the big diaper on and the baby?
It was like a onesie. Okay. an easy zip upable onesie, and like it was a big mask, big hot mask. Question though, I was gonna ask, speaking of hot masks, how do you deal with like the humidity, like with the hard hat and just being out there for when it is like 100 plus and hot, specifically while working?
Let's see. I haven't worked that job since last year, but when I was out there, it was just water. Like, I got used to the heat really fast.
Do you pour water on yourself?
No, I just drank a lot.
And you did mention on your other video, like, it's not as hot as it seems or something, like you're in a drier area than some or something.
Well, no, it's hot as shit, but like underneath the thing that makes it not as hot as it seems is underneath that hard hat, you've got to pull a sweat. So that hard hat is actually keeping you cooler. And having long hair is also a good thing to do because it traps the sweat in.
Right.
So it's trapped on your head, it's trapped under the hard hat, and then it doesn't seem as hot.
I was working today. I was like moving stuff around, and you get the sweat in your eyes when you're not wiping your head constantly. It's just like it just builds up and goes right in the eyes.
Yep. But when you cut your hair nice and short, like mine is, it's nice and bald.
Yeah.
There's no hair to trap the sweat in.
Right.
So it just pours down like a fat kid at summer camp. It just pours down your face. And when you're
recommending more hair, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. If you work outside in a hot area and you have to wear a hard hat, more hair is better.
Okay.
Not less. More hair is better because it'll trap the sweat in. The moment you get rid of that hair and you put that hard hat on, there is nowhere for that sweat to go but down.
Yeah. Yep.
And it starts feeling like you're showering when you're not actually showering.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had a water policy where it was like you need to drink a bottle an hour, and then we would get into situations where it's like I can't drink a bottle an hour because then I'm gonna have to go pee fucking twice an hour, and I can't get away from the job site that much, and it's not like I can just whip it out when there's vehicles sitting in front of me. Like, hey,
yeah, that's like a rule from the top that doesn't make sense. You know, it's like, oh yeah, just like it's like a rule from the government or something. Oh, you need to, or even from the CEOs, like you need water an hour so they don't sue us for whatever. And then like, but it never happens because you can't physically do it. You know.
Yes. Yeah, the people that have never done the job, and that's the strangest thing to me. It really is.
Here, say it again because you cut out.
The people that have never done the job are the ones that make the rules.
Yes.
And that's the strangest thing to me because that it's everywhere. People that have never actually done the job are the ones sitting down and writing the rule book, and it makes no sense.
And that's how it works in a lot of places. And it's like the solution to that is listen to your people who are coming in and doing the job and everything.
But why would they do that?
Because they got their list of complaints and they made the top 3, and then they just had to listen to the top 3.
Basically, yeah. Why? Why would you do that? It's like the jobs that I always tempted to avoid, quite literally, were the ones that were attached to temp agencies, depending on what the job was, because those are the ones that really do not give a fuck.
Yeah,
they don't have to.
They're like a thief in the night. They just like set up somewhere and disappear the next day.
Yeah, but they've got 20 applications a day coming in of people that are willing to work for nothing to just have a job. So
the standards go down of how well you have to treat people. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've worked for temp agencies, or I similar things. I worked security temp.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Security temp has got to be the worst. I'm sorry. Oh, God,
definitely. No, what I did was I had I would have to take a bus, but I would do like festivals out in Vegas.
Yeah.
And then we'd load up in California, go out to the Vegas. And then they'd be like, okay, you're working 16 hours a day while you're here, and we're gonna give you a room, but you're mostly here just to work. And then like I actually enjoyed the work part, but I did get on the way home. I got left at like a bus station.
Oh shit.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you have 15 minutes or whatever, and I must have been like 16 minutes or 20 minutes. I didn't realize. Maybe I thought I had more time than I did, but they were gone when I came back. So
how did you get back? Because I know they didn't come back for you.
Yeah, well, I could have called them, but I was like, fuck them. I don't even want to I don't want to detract the whole thing or whatever. But my mom didn't live that far away because we were on our way back from California.
Yeah.
So I was like halfway to California, and my mom was like an hour or two from there. So she came and got me.
Lucky. Yeah, for real, man.
Yeah. But like I just felt like I was saying, like everything was like, oh, this is the crappiest hotel and the crappiest little lunch or whatever, and everything was just like very hobby-dobby, as we say.
Right? The bare minimum. Just to say that they did it.
And then it was like
you to be grateful for it.
And then it was like the paycheck wasn't that big at the end. It was like, oh, I did all this work and only got what, $10 an hour or something.
Yeah. Like I got to eat
the taxes out.
Yeah, I got to eat paper for a week and put my head on a roach at night, and and like was barely compensated for it. Yeah.
And the thing that bothered me the most about it was like I would work for a certain company, and I would work like alongside other security companies, and they'd be like, "You only make that much? Like I make twice as much as you." I'd be like, "Oh well."
Well, thanks for bragging, asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have just tried to track down that company, but I just got butthurt instead. But,
yeah. That's You run into that all the time, though. They're like, like, who do you work for, and how much do you? Okay, well, we make this much. Oh, well, we get paid this much. Okay, well, put in a good word for me, Dick. Like, don't just sit there and fucking brag about it.
To get to that point, you have to be like know somebody, or get the be there a long time or whatever. And I don't. Maybe they have a carry license, or they have another special certificate, and it's like I don't have that.
Right. It happens.
Yeah, but it's that was a fun one, working security. I got to work festivals and concerts and EDC, like EDC, and another kind of Coachella kind of thing, but it was in Vegas, but it was called like Life is Beautiful Festival.
I bet that was some crazy shit. The festivals and concerts, especially.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been to those just as like a spectator. I can't imagine actually running security at a place like that.
I was happy to just be at security because they posted me somewhere, and sometimes it was like a back gate or something,
Yeah.
Or a couple times it was right at the stage, but it's like I was behind a gate. I wasn't like managing people or something, but I was just like making sure people don't go behind the gate or whatever. And that was cool because I'm right by the stage and everything.
Like, did you ever have to work the front gate where the people were taking the tickets and shit? Like, I can't even imagine.
I did, what's it called? Scanning?
Yeah.
Metal detector scanning.
Yep.
And then they're just like, go faster, go faster, go faster. I was like, okay, what do you want me to look for weapons, or do you want me to go fast?
Right? You got to pick one. Like, I understand the line's long, but come on. Like, anyone gets through here with something that's unauthorized, you're going to blame me. So fuck you. I'm going to go as slow as I want.
Yeah.
Dude, that's got to be like working TSA. It's got to be the same thing. You get those idiots coming in like, can I use my fishing license as an ID? No. No.
Last time, like I actually visit my cousin in Orlando quite a lot, every like once a year almost. And I was on my way back from Orlando, and like 2 months ago, and there was just a TSA guy just talking to somebody, having a conversation with somebody for like 20 minutes. And I was like, are you gonna do your job, or what are you doing here?
Right. Like, are you working TSA, or are you on break waiting for your like your fucking reprieve? Because like let's get this fucking line moving, dude. Like, come on.
It was by far the slowest line. I think I was there for like 30 to 40 minutes, just going through like the gate. Because it was like 10 minutes watching him in the conversation, 10 minutes winding down, and then like 20 minutes waiting for my bag to go through.
God damn.
Like there was some issue, but I mean, I don't know what it was.
I hear I hear, because I've never been there, but I hear LAX is the worst airport. Have you ever had to use that one before?
Yeah, all the time.
And I
And
hear they're the worst.
my complaint was about Orlando. I can't remember what was so bad, anything bad about LAX specifically, but I have been very lucky about just like flights not changing
Yeah.
but I hear stories, but I've been lucky.
Right. So the TSA thing would be like your biggest delay. Have you ever had one of those? You get through security and you're like, oh, I'm gonna board in 15 minutes, and then they're like, oh, well, you're gonna be delayed for
I
X amount of time.
remember I took a trip to Europe as a teenager, and on the way back we were in an airport layover for like a day or something.
Holy shit.
So there must have been like a delayed flight or something, but
Yeah. They
I
make
don't
you stay
remember.
at the airport, or did you get a hotel?
I was sleeping at the airport. I know that my dad was like taking pictures of me, so like I have pictures of me sleeping at the airport. So
Yeah.
pretty sure we just stayed there. Maybe it was only 8 or 10 hours, but it seemed like a long time. But yeah.
I mean, believe it or not, I'd probably just stay at the airport too. Fucking find a bench that has an outlet so I can plug in my phone, and then just put something on boring and lay down and go to bed. Like, I wouldn't waste money on a hotel. Because then you got to go back through security. Like, fuck that shit. I'll just sleep here.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. What about you?
I've had like my favorite airport stories are when I was serving in the military. Because I got treated really well, which is strange. I had one where like I wasn't even expecting it, but I went to the airport because I was flying to another base, and the check-in stewardess come up to me and they're like, "Hey, can I see your ticket?" I was like, and of course I'm in the military, I'm like, "Is something wrong, ma'am?" And they're like, "No, we just want to see your ticket." I was like, "Okay, here you go." Like, I didn't, whatever. Like, what are you gonna do? Cancel my flight? Like, the
Yeah.
military paid for this. I'm going. Um, and then they come back with another ticket and they're like, "You've been upgraded to first class." I was like,
Oh, awesome.
wait, what? Like, there's a colonel
Yeah.
sitting next to me who's gonna be flying coach, and
There was a what?
there was a colonel standing next to me
Oh, yeah, that
that
is
was gonna
weird.
be flying coach, and you came to like the lowest ranked individual in the whole fucking airport and was like,
maybe
"Hey,
you
you've
like
been upgraded."
maybe you like smiled at them or treated them the right way or something. They were like, "Oh, we
I
gotta reward this guy."
maybe like I was so tempted actually to hand the ticket to the colonel, but I didn't.
So,
Like,
do you remember where you were flying from, or?
I think I was Logan International Airport in Boston, Massachusetts. That was my go-to, because I lived in New Hampshire, so that was the one that I would go to. I'd either fly out of Manchester or I would drive down to Mass, because that's actually used to be. I don't know how it is now. Like I said, I've been out of that part of the country for 5 years.
Right.
But when I would fly, that was my favorite one to go to.
Did they? I mean, was there like a base at in a certain state or something, or?
Yeah, like because I lived in New Hampshire, I was actually based at the one in New Hampshire. Small, remote, out of the way, fucking beautiful. I love the area, so I just went there. But like when I would fly out, I would never be on the base when I was going to fly out. It was really weird. Like, I was never on the base doing my job, and they're like, "Hey, we've got a flight." So I would take a military plane. It was always when I was at home. So they're like, "Hey, we need you to drive to the airport." Like, why didn't you do this shit 2 days ago when I was at work? Like, the fuck. But I mean, the best part is I actually got to go home because the base wasn't far from my house. So unlike others that have to, when they live on the base, I didn't. I went home.
How was that experience for you being in the?
I hated it.
Really?
Yeah, because the way that I explain it is I grew up in a military family. My dad and my uncle were both Army. My grandpa was a Marine. My cousins, every branch of the military has been in my family. So I wasn't raised by my dad. I was raised by my mother. But whenever I went to my father's, it wasn't like strict military, but it was military.
Our stories are pretty similar there. I was kind of raised by my mom, and my dad was in the military. I would visit him.
Yeah. But like my dad was out long before I was born. But like
that's true for me too. Actually, that's true for me too. He just had the attitude, and he would just like complain about his sergeants from 20 years ago. You know.
Well, I mean, my dad always regretted getting out when he did. But in order for him to continue going, because my dad never went to combat, and in order for him to progress, he would have had to pick up a rifle, and he didn't want to, because he was God, what did he? I think he was the artillery mechanic or some shit. So he was the guy that would tell everybody from the colonel on down, these weapons are not safe to deploy. You can't have them. Those weapons you can. And he had that authority even as a specialist, even as a lowly little E4. He had the ability to look at anyone and say, no, you can't take those. Because it was a safety thing. You fire that rifle and it explodes, I'm not being held liable for it, that kind of a thing. So that's what he did. But they said in order for him to progress, he would have to actually pick up a rifle and like join the ranks, and he didn't want to.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So he got out.
But he regrets it. He wished he had stayed in and
he
fought?
wished he had stayed. He wished he had stayed in and done his 20, like just transferred to a different thing, or
right.
You know, he wished he had stayed in for his 20. He did 6, and he got out. Like every day he regrets not staying in for the extra 14, just like changing MOS or whatever he had to do.
How about you? How many years?
I did 3, and that was enough. I did 3 because at that time I was going through a divorce from my first wife, and it made me very distracted, and I had a very dangerous job on the flight line with $10 million planes and fucking giant machinery. So I couldn't be distracted. I could not be distracted.
I know. Yeah.
And I was always distracted because I was worried about, you know, are they going to get a lawyer? Are they going to fuck me out of seeing the children? That kind of thing. So when the halfway mark came, I had the option of continuing and being bumped up in rank for the final 3, or getting out with an honorable. And I said, I'm going to go.
Was it because I was like, no, you're younger than me. So I was thinking, oh, what, were you around like during the Iraqi war or something like that? But
I joined in 2008, so I was
right
during that one, the 2001 to 2021.
Right.
Bullshit. I was there for that one.
I guess that one went longer than I thought it did. But I remember it started in 2003, and then it was probably went from like a war to like a dispute or something, or like a military. We just were there, but we weren't fighting.
Yeah.
I forget what they call that, but
I mean, it basically, if you boil it right down, it went for 20 years.
I hear you. No,
whether
it was,
bullets were flying or not, it went for 20 years.
It started in 2003, so it couldn't be that long, right? Wasn't it 2003 to? No. I'm thinking 2003 was Iraq. You're talking about something else. You're talking about you're talking about like specifically
like the 9/11 war.
No, I know, but you remember we went to Iraq instead?
Yeah.
So that's what was fresh in my mind. Like, oh, I remember 2003. They were like, we're going to war in Iraq.
Yeah.
But they had the I'm trying to remember the country. What Afghanistan?
Yeah.
We had that war for probably from 2001 to 2021, or when did we pull out?
2021.
Really?
I think even Syria was roped in there, but I'm not entirely sure. I stopped paying attention after I got out.
Yeah, well, it was I remember watching Biden as a vice presidential candidate saying, we got to bring everyone back. We got to bring everyone back. And then sounds like he got in there and did it.
Yeah, he got in there and did it.
But I mean, it was not well received. People were like, oh, we left all our weapons behind or whatever. But
the way he did it was fucked up. I mean, we won't get into it, but the way he did it was fucked up, but he did it. That's the thing. It was a very unpopular very unpopular move, but he did it. He brought everyone home, despite
Right.
people saying, "What about this? What about that?" He said, "No,
Yeah.
we're bringing people home." So he said he was going to do it, and he did it. See, that's the part that's why I don't get into politics, because that's the part that annoys me the most. Is people are like, they're either complaining because they get in there and they don't do what they promised, or
Right.
they complain because they get in there and they do what they promised.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like, who knows, like, he wasn't able to do everything the perfect way, but it's like, who was standing in his way from doing all the right things? It's like, was it even in his control, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like the big thing was the refugees and shit that we left behind. I think that was where people really got sore, and I understand that part. But like,
Yeah.
you can only do so much.
Right.
But that's why I don't get too deep into this shit, because you have you have people that will defend and argue on both sides. That's why I try not to even talk about it.
Right. Well, I decided politics are a way to divide us.
Yeah, they are.
And it's like almost like
It's almost like designed to do it.
yeah. So it's like, that's why I wouldn't really care to argue either. But
Yeah.
um, it's all, I'm more of the peaceful type, so I go for the peace when, I mean, but it's like, in this case, that was peace at the expense of something else. But
Yeah.
you always
And
want to go the peace
but
route.
yeah, but I mean, that's how that goes. There are
Mm-hmm.
no happy endings like in action movies. There's
Yep.
always there's a consequence to every action.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. No, and then, like I said, I just remember it was a powerful thing. He's like, "We're gonna bring him back. We're gonna bring him back," and I guess they didn't do it right away, but when he was vice president, but maybe they
Yeah.
brought back half or something. But you could just tell that's what he wanted, and then he did it.
Yeah. Yeah, my experience when I was in was not good at all. I didn't enjoy it at all, because like I said, I was raised in the military family, and then when I was in high school, I did ROTC. So I think by the time I joined, I had a lot of fun in boot camp, and then I was like, I'm already done with this shit. I've already been doing this my whole life. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, why did I fucking do this? I had a great time in boot camp, but I still had that major problem with authority. Um, and it only got worse.
It just
When they
keeps
were like,
going and going for as long as you're in there. You're just
yeah,
being. So that was my dad's story. He's told me over and over again, was like, just like his drill sergeants were just like yelling at him and telling him to pick up cigarette butts or whatever. And it's like, do they really do that anymore? Or
oh yeah, of course they do. Yeah,
yeah,
they do anything that they can to fuck with you.
they
Um,
curse and everything still.
Not real. I was in the Air Force. It's a hell of a lot nicer. But I mean,
Mm.
especially in boot, they do make you do fucked up shit. But I loved every minute of boot. That was my
Well,
favorite time.
well, just to make you like run a bunch or do a bunch of push-ups or whatever is exhausting, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like, I was already in shape before I joined. 4 years of ROTC already whipped me into shape. So like, boot camp was just fun at that point. It was just learning over again how to do what I was already doing without sleep, and
Yeah,
learning how to eat faster. And then learning how to fire an M16, crawl through mud, deal with tear gas. Like, so it was all fun. I loved boot, but then when I got out of boot, I was like, oh god, I've got to fucking, like, why did I do this? So like,
what was your like position you hated so much?
oh, it wasn't the position. It was just the military in general. When I say I have an issue with authority, what I mean is, I chain of command. You give me an order and you're above my rank, I'm gonna do it. Especially if like if you're above my rank and you're also in my section and you're someone I have to listen to, I'm gonna do the order unless it's unlawful, but I'm gonna do the order. My issue with people is, as soon as they got that rank, their heads expanded, and they
Mm-hmm.
said, now you have to respect me because I have. No, I don't. I've
Mm,
got to listen to you. I have to listen to you because that's my job, but I don't have to fucking respect you just because you're wearing that rank.
right.
Like, no, you still have to earn my respect, dude. Like, I don't know who you think you are, but those fucking stripes on your shoulder don't mean dick to me if you're an idiot.
Were these guys that you knew before they got promoted, or
no? But like none of them were really, in a way.
No, you cut out. Say it again.
None of them were really assholes in a way.
Okay.
It was just me having a problem with authority. Like when I look back on it, I was the problem.
Do they see that you were like kind of having a bad attitude and then they pick on you more?
No. One of my sergeants actually set me straight. He's like, you've got a huge, he actually like one-on-one. He's like, you've got a huge problem with authority. You constantly question things. Look, if you want out, I'll help you get out of here. But while you're here, just shut the fuck up and do your job. And basically, I took that for the final 12 months of my time in.
Right.
And was like, all right, I'm good. I won't say a fucking word then. Like,
well, that's how I imagine it to go, like in the Army, or from what my dad said, or wherever is. I imagine it just like, hey, don't say anything, don't question anything, just do what we say.
Yeah, but again, I just had an issue. I had that fucking attitude that really doesn't work. Like when I focused on my job, I would focus on my job, but then when I had to teach someone else the job and they were just either being lazy or an idiot, I was like, dude, get this fucking guy away from me. Like, so I just had that kind of a thing. But no, I didn't enjoy my time in at all. I'm not gonna lie. I did. Boot camp was the funnest part I had, and then after that, I was like, fuck this.
I did want to ask. So you liked boot camp, and you were in ROTC, which was like. So I was going to ask, were you like looking forward to going into the Army or into the Air Force?
I didn't to join because I love and respect my dad and my uncle and my grandpa. My grandpa told me not to join Marines because he'd make sure I never went to boot camp, which was a threat I took very seriously. And
I knew some Marines; they were hardcore.
Yeah, well, like he literally told me he would not like allow me to remain breathing. He wouldn't let me get to boot camp if I joined the Marines, because the Marines ruined his life. He didn't want it to happen to me. And I had become a father with my first kid prior to joining the military, and Air Force at the time had the shortest deployment times and the shortest boot camp. So I was like, hey, the best of both worlds. So I could still be in my kid's life, not be away all the fucking time and blah, blah, blah. But was I looking forward to going? Yes, because I wanted to join the ranks of those that served within my dad's family.
Yeah.
But like I said, once I got out of boot camp, I was like, I'm already done. Can I go home? Like,
or there was just based on if you were there in 2008, there might have been like a large gap between like ROTC and when you actually got in, or.
No, because I graduated in 06.
Oh, okay.
High school in 06, so it wasn't that big of a gap.
Oh, okay.
It was probably like a year and a half, maybe.
I was 03, and we're 2 years apart year-wise, so I was like, oh, you probably graduated in like 05 or something, but.
Yeah, no. I graduated 06 in June, and then I joined February of 08. So it really wasn't that big of a gap.
Right.
But within that time, I had a child and started
the first child, right?
Yeah, and then started doing really dumb shit with my friends. So then my fucking attitude got worse, and yet I still joined the service instead of not.
I have a friend, he actually was Air Force, telling me all about how they do all kinds of crazy drinking on the weekends too in the Air Force, or maybe even on the days.
Yeah, man, it's yeah. When you, because like the Air Force has all sorts of different rules. Like even when I deployed, they gave us alcohol rations every day. We were allowed to go to a fucking bar with these rations and actually drink, even when I was deployed. And like I'm asking friends of mine that are in the Army, and they're like, "No, man, we're not allowed to do that shit." I'm like, okay, you're in the wrong branch then, fucking.
So it's because he was Air Force, so it's more just the branch than the.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
But what does that mean? Alcohol rations? Like, why would they do that, or why do they do that?
I don't know. because we have a stressful job. I have no idea. Like I worked on the flight line. Yeah, the whole thing's stressful, so I don't really know. I don't know why our rules were different.
Were you drinking to make things easier, or?
No, I was just drinking because they let us. Like,
I got you.
It didn't have anything to do with lowering stress. It had to do with curbing boredom, and they allowed us to do it. I was like, oh, I can have 3. Okay, so give me a triple shot of tequila. That'll take all 3 rations at the same time, and I'll walk back to my bunk buzzed and fucking sleep until I have to get up and go back to work.
Yeah.
Like,
so I'm fascinated, but was it 3 a night or 3 how often?
3 a day.
You get the option to have 3 drinks a day.
Yeah.
And then you have to pay for them, right, or not?
No, we just got them.
And is it like they bust out a bottle and you just do it, or?
Like we would literally go to a bar, like a bar.
That's what my friend said too. He's like, "Oh yeah, we were just at the bar." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, we just went to the bar and we handed them the ration and we told them what we wanted. You could get 3 beers.
Is it it's off base bar, right? Or
no, it's on base.
On base bar. Okay.
Yeah. So you'd hand it to them and say, I want 3 beers or I want 1 beer, and then you'd drink your 1 and you'd walk out, or you hand it to them and you say, give me all 3, whatever.
I just can't imagine because, you're supposed to be in top shape. It's like, oh, I'm just going to drink every night.
Oh, no, I went to the gym twice a day.
Right. It's like the drink and workout thing.
I did it all, but I did not work out after drinking. It was always beforehand. I worked out in the morning before I went to do my 12-hour shift.
Yeah.
And then I went to the mess hall and ate a fuck ton of food. And then I went to the gym again, and then I went to the bar and was like, hey, I'm going to drink off some of the shit I just worked out. But hey, you know what? I entered for bench pressing. I was in the 200 club.
Mm.
And that's fucking insane because right now I weigh 185 pounds, I think.
Yeah.
When I was deployed, even with the packed on muscle, I think I was 165.
Oh, really?
And I was bench pressing 200 pounds when I left.
I thought you were going to say heavier because you were had so much muscle or something, but
no, man. I'm fat now. Not really, but my stomach is definitely loosened up and puffy because I don't have the time to go to the gym anymore, and it's not free here, and I can't walk to it, so it makes it more difficult.
Yeah.
Those 3 elements, plus I've got kids here and other shit. I'm fighting for my life in a whole different way here.
I did the drinking and working out thing for a couple, not like a couple years, maybe here and there, or a couple months in a row. And then it's just you get into first of all, the booze is kind of spilling out of you, but you're also getting it kind of all works together in some way.
Yeah. I mean, I would not recommend a triple shot of tequila and then going to the gym. I really would not recommend that at all.
No, it's kind of like the Hangover more.
Yeah.
Wake up and then try to recoup. I don't know. I did.
Because we were only allowed that. I did off of those 3 shots because I did just triple shot back. I didn't sip on it. It was tequila. Just fucking toss it back and go. So I would wake up in the morning, and even if I felt like shit, I would go to the gym and be like, you did this to yourself. You're still gonna fucking work, and go do a 12-hour shift on the flight line when there's a potential sandstorm coming, with the fucking, whatever. I tortured myself out there.
Where was the sandstorm?
Oh, I deployed to the desert, dude. There were sandstorms all the time.
The deserts of
Iraq.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just outside.
Okay. I didn't know if you were. I don't know. I didn't know you were overseas. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I went for training in other places, but mainly there. Yeah, like I said, we were on the flight line, so we would load and unload the cargo onto the planes. We'd build the pallets of the cargo, and then we had a grid where we would build the cargo. The flight wasn't there yet, or it was extra supplies that we needed. So we'd wrap them up and we'd leave them in the yard, which we called the grid. And it was all mapped out as a grid. A row here, and this is what's in it. B row here, and this is what's in it. And I would be the one that took the Jeep without the cover on it, which we called a Gator. I would be the one that drove it out into the grid and did the inspection check every day. I'd be the one that went out there because no one else wanted to. But I thought it was a great way to get away from the fucking office and just get away from the normal shit and just go out there by myself and start making check marks. I always loved doing inventory because no one else wanted to. It was such a great way to just be by myself. But one of the times I went out there and did it, I got caught in a sandstorm.
I gotcha.
It wasn't fun because within seconds I couldn't see where the hell I was going.
Yeah, that's what you hear about. It's like, yeah, it's a crazy place.
Yeah. And it only happened to me once because then I started paying attention. If it's windy outside, I'm not going into that grid. Fuck you. I am not going out there. Hey, look, a cat's asshole.
He's trying to get his face. I was trying to think of that word where we're over in Iraq, but we're not at war. What is it called? Like occupancy? I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
But I was gonna ask, was like people fighting, or was there people who were like at war with each other, or were they just was it just like an occupancy where like they're just there?
Well, I deployed in 2009.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure. I really can't answer that question.
But like from what you saw, was there like bombs going off, or like you hear about things, or?
Yeah, I heard about the occasional. Someone would would walk into our fucking air conditioned office on the flight line, and they'd be timid because they're like, oh, I just got back from so and so, and someone would fucking accidentally drop something on the floor, and they'd like go into their PTSD shit, which I completely understand because I came home. When I came home, I got a job at Rent-A-Center, and they were having this fucking sale where we would blow up balloons, and they made it look all festive, and then the balloons started popping on the ceiling, and I went into like convulsions. Really? So I completely understand. Yeah, it's a kitty.
Yeah, I don't know if it's I never knew if it's like people with PTSD, like they actually see combat, or like they're just like in that stressful situation where like they could die at any moment for years at a time. Or
I mean, you can get PTSD from anything. I know someone that got it because they were held at gunpoint and robbed. I know someone that has it because they got into a car accident. I know someone that has it because they were, at a bank when it was being robbed. They were told to hit the deck, and there were fucking bullets being shot into the ceiling. Like, you can get it from anything.
Yeah, I do know that, but
Yeah. Like, the most common is emergency medical personnel and military.
Yeah,
as far as I know, those are the two most common.
Yeah, it's like the first place you hear about it, especially when we were kids or whatever, is from people who've seen combat and everything.
Yeah, and then trauma surgeons is another one. Anyone that like works the trauma ward, the people that drive the ambulances, the ones that have to like push the bodies into the friggin' ER, and those people.
So. I know, that's why I like I always aim for very stress-free jobs because it's just so stressful to be in charge of someone's life or be in charge of some huge project or something,
Dude, my world right now is so boring, and I love it.
Stress-free is the way to be. It's you just gotta get rid of all that, shake out all that. I mean, I'm I've been diagnosed with PTSD for just childhood stuff. So
yeah,
but just like you just shake it out, and like it's just like you just want to feel free and be able to breathe and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? So I might go leave for dinner here, but what? Oh, yeah. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
But yeah, what's let me know if we can do this again sometime, or maybe I'll do one on my channel or something, back and forth.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, if you do want to do a cross, you host and I come on. That works too. I don't care.
Yeah. If I ever do it, I will have like a list of questions like prepared. But
yeah, no, that's okay. I've tried that, and then I never follow the list. Kind of like shopping. So I said, fuck it, we're just gonna do it free.
Here's a question. Here's one I always used to ask. What inspires you?
My kids. Because they are, like, my oldest two daughters are both autistic, and then my 11-year-old son is still very naive, and then my 7-year-old daughter is still a child. So when they talk about what they see, what they hear, what they want to do, it always inspires me to do better, because they have such a different view of the world. They haven't been in the world yet.
I know, seriously.
So I love listening to it, because like part of you, because like of our age, part of you wants to look at the kid and be like, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's going to be horrible. Nothing that you say is, and then the other part of you is going, let them dream, man. Just let them dream.
Yeah, no, or if they're asking for some experience or go to the park or whatever, it's like,
fucking let them do it. Let them do it, man. Kids give you the ability as an adult to be a kid. And that's the easiest way. People say that parenting is hard. It is, but at the same time, it's not. Because if you allow yourself to be a kid when your kids want to be kids, it's the easiest way to connect with them.
Absolutely.
It's like I don't understand my children. Well, have you ever sat down and played a board game with them? Have you ever sat down and did finger painting? Did you ever, when you brought them to the park, did you put down your goddamn phone and actually like run around with them and roll around in the dirt like kids do?
I have to think some people just don't have the patience for it. They're just like, their kids running around. They want to ignore them or something.
Yeah, I mean, they bring them to the park so that the kids can expend the energy and they have an excuse to ignore them. And it's like the easiest way to connect with the child is just to be one yourself.
Yeah, I don't have any kids, but if I ever see a kid, I always want to smile and be like, oh, that world is a nice place. Strangers will smile at you,
Yeah. And, being a kid, for the most part, I would never be a kid again. It sucked. Major fucking but
I was over it.
Yeah. But when I look at my children and I listen to them talk, I'm like, yeah, I envy your world.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it just, you must, if your childhood sucked or whatever, then you must be making a better childhood for your children, where they're just, able to enjoy it and whatever,
I am trying so hard, man. It's not easy. It's really not.
And you might be onto something with because basically, I don't know your reasoning behind this, but the screens thing is that we're all going to have ADD if we're all staring at screens all day,
Yeah, I mean, they like when they go to school, they've got their notebook computers that they do their work on now, and that's fine. Their friends in their class might have cell phones, but when they enter this house, they don't have any of it.
It's good for any kind of a break, because you know how it is. If you're on your phone as much as I am, it's like, oh, I'm gonna check this, I'm gonna check that.
Yeah. And I don't
then it's like every thought you have is just like, oh, I'm gonna Google that. I'm gonna check that out. And it's like, that's like when I was a kid just staring at a TV screen. It's like I just imagine the ADHD just growing and just being like, oh, you need constant stimulation. You need constant stimulation.
Yeah. Yeah, because my 11-year-old son is top in his class when it comes to math, and he does it all in his head.
Oh, wow.
And like my math skills are starting to fade over time, to the point where in order to fact check his shit, I take my phone out and open the calculator, and I'm like, I never needed this before.
Right.
But he can do. You can set, the three numbers on top of three numbers, or divide a 4 number by a 3 number, and he'll get it right just in his head. He'll just work the shit out in his head.
Oh yeah, when we're children, that's like the time to like learn languages and learn everything, learn skills, and it's like I was just staring at a screen. It's like such a waste.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, am I onto something? Maybe, but I don't really care. Like, I'm not gonna write a book about it, how to parent, because I'm not that full of myself. Because, like, dude, I can be an insufferable prick. If my kids grow up and they don't say out loud, my dad can be an asshole, they're lying to themselves.
Right.
Because I can be an asshole, and I'm admitting it. I have those days where my 7-year-old daughter comes out here with a big old smile and says, "Dad, can I spend time with you?" And I look at her little face and I say, "No, because if you do, I'm going to take whatever's going on inside me out on you.
Oh man.
And I want you to go away."
Well, I think that's a better way to do it than to pretend like you're fine, right?
Yeah, like, we also don't lie. Like, you listen to that when you watch the other video.
I did.
We also do not lie to them.
Yes, the whole Christmas and Easter running.
Yep.
And
Yep, we don't lie to them. So if I'm feeling like I don't want you around because I'm gonna take my anger out on you, I'm not gonna lie to you. Be like, "Yes, sit in my lap, let's have a great day." I'm gonna go, "No, you need to go away."
Yeah, no, you're teaching them. I think that part of the problem is I and other kids were like just so sheltered, we don't even know what reality is till we're 18 or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, because I'm just gonna say one more thing. Yeah. Imagine when we were kids and like your parents were like, "Oh, everything's okay," and then you're 16, 17, you're like, "Oh, everything's not okay,"
Right. Yeah, like, do I want, my children's colorful rainbow version of the world to be completely destroyed? No. But do I want them going into the world with only the rainbow in their mind, and then it being shattered when they get their first job? Also no. So
honesty is the best policy.
It is. And I mean, I've been married to the same woman for 9 years, and she is shocked every day at how honest I am.
I was picking that up from your last one. Yeah, I was just like,
Yeah. And not only that, the other married men in our life are equally shocked that I'm still breathing. So
yeah, it's I gotta respect you for that.
That I can't help but be honest, man. I don't have time to bullshit.
Well, at least you were polite and courteous with me today, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
No truth bombs came out.
Right?
But your name's Cameron?
Yeah.
Cool, it's on the screen. All right. Nice talking to you, Cameron. I'll catch you next time.
Absolutely, man. Have a good one.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Bye.